Hello, everyone. We'll be starting in just a few moments. If you could, please, in the chat below, just mention where you're watching this from and let me know if the audio is sounding good. I'll adjust it slightly. Once again, welcome, and we'll be beginning in just a few moments. And if you could, just put your name down and let me know where you're watching from, and also how the audio is, and if you're able to see the on-screen Luminar coffee break. Hello, Ev. Well, hello and welcome to our Luminar coffee break. I'm your host, Benelli. Now, these coffee breaks are designed to be like a virtual coffee shop. So it's as if you're sitting right next to me with your laptop open, asking as many questions as you want as we go through and answer questions on Luminar. Now, this should take between 10 to 15 minutes based on the number of questions people are asking. Now, today what we're going to work on is how to create a style. How to create a style. And I'm going to go through a couple of the really cool tools and some tips and tricks. And as always, please make sure you guys are leaving comments, and I'll get to those comments in between showing you these. Let's see, who do we have? We have our good buddy Ev from Canada. Let's see. Jordan, how you doing, bud? And Illinois, Australia. Here we go, Michael. I live in Melbourne, Florida, and of course everyone thinks it's Australia. And as you can tell from my accent, yeah, it's not Australia. So, all right, guys, hey, let's get started. So here's the image we're going to work with. Here's the original image, and now we're going to create this style towards it. Now, this can be very useful. Think of a wedding, or if you're doing an entire series. Let's say this was an engagement photo, and you're doing an entire series of these images with this couple. You'll create this style and then apply it to all the images within that photo shoot, so it looks consistent when you add it to an album. Now let me show you how I started. I'm going to start in the edit panel. I'm going to come down to the history tool, and these are all the changes I made. So here's the original image. And notice I started with a Luminar look called Remarkable, so we'll get to that here. So I started out, and I typically do this quite a bit. Let's say dramatic. I'll look at dramatic, and yep, I'll just click on any of these, and once I see something, ooh, I like this, but I don't like what it's doing to the background. I love what it's doing to them, so I'm going to remember crushed. Maybe something I'll use in the future. Again, I don't like the background, but I like here. So I went through, and I came up with Remarkable. So I like how Remarkable looks. So before and after. All right, and this is getting me about 90% there. And so I'm going to look off to the side, and I want to see what tools Remarkable used to create this. And if you notice any of the tools on the side here that are highlighted, that means that those tools are being used. So under the portraits and under the professional tools, nothing is being used, but these two are. Of course, AI enhancer is used. Good. And it used a nice vignette. Notice how it's bringing the focus onto the couple. So I like how that looks. And over here, it used a color style or a LUTs. Here's a wooden LUTs that it used. Now watch this. Before and after. Just that simple LUTs. Look what it did. It's LUTs is lookup table, L-U-T, and it converted a lot of those colors and it remapped them. So that got us so close to what we want. What I want to do is add the matte look. All right, so the matte look tool here, I'm going to crank this up pretty high and then fade it in. Good. And then just finesse it. Now, here's contrast. Instead of adding contrast, for this, I want to take away the contrast and give it more of a flat look. And remember, this is all subjective to you, the artist. You have to decide how you look, and your clients hired you. Your clients hired you because of your look and because of your style. So that's something you can show them. And if they want it slightly different, you can alternate it or alter it just a bit. So I have my Luminar or my matte effect going in. I like it a lot. And I'm going to add a little bit of film grain. Now this is a little excessive. I'll dial it back. Now the reason why I'm adding it is I like the idea, zoom in on their face, you see how it's adding a little texture to them along with like her helmet. So that's going to print really nice. And so far I just simply took a look that we've already had and now I made it my own. I do want to come into detail and enhancer a little bit. I want to add a little more detail to the image. Good. And I'll turn it on and off here just to see. If you notice, look at this shirt right here. Good. Just that little extra. All right, I like it a lot. Now, I'm looking at the image. I think the vignette tool we could bring it in just a little bit more. Yeah, right about, oh, I like that. See what it's doing? And let's feather it just a little bit. And I'll round it. Yeah, so I want to focus it right on the couple. And I could use an experiment with the inner light. That's it. Now, right about there. That looks good. Before, after, good. Now I'm looking off to the side here. This is just a little too dark for me. So I want to control the light coming in from the side. So I'll come over to the adjustable gradient filter. And I'm going to use top. Now I can separate between top and bottom. I'm going to use top. And notice how I could darken the top half of the image without affecting the bottom. So I want right about here. But the difference is, I want to set the orientation. I'm going to rotate it and maneuver it into place. Right about there. Good. And select done. And at any moment, like I said, I can go in and just affect just that little area there. Good. Now it matches. Both sides are matching. And there we have it. So before, after. Now we just created your own style. So we'll come over to the looks panel and we'll save this as a new look. Let's say young couple in love. Now you can name this your client's name or whatever you want, but young couple in love, save it. And now let's say, I'll reset this one. Here we go. So let's say this was the area. Let's say that we were photographing them in this city and this was one of the shots that we did. Well, we want to have the same look as what we did for the couple. So I'm going to look for young couple in love. Here we are, and apply it. Good. And it's doing its calculations, and in a moment, there it is. Oh, that looks nice. And if I want to, I could dial it back and then just dial in the amount that I want. Typically between 50 and 70 is good. For this, I kind of like 95%. So now this image that we just did there is going to fall in line with the image that we did with the couple. So when they're side by side in the photo album, the style is going to look the same. So that's how you quickly develop a style, and then you start applying it to the entire set. So, hey, let's check to see if we have any questions here. All good. Let's see what Don said. Glad, you know what? Glad to see you're using a Surface Studio. A lot of people were asking about this, and a dedicated desktop or a very powerful Mac has a graphics card that you can add to it for extra power. This is good. It's great for Luminar. If it was just a little more powerful, it would be great for photo editing or for video editing. All right, let's see other questions. Can you convert Lightroom presets? Ooh, that's a good question. Can you convert Lightroom presets to Luminar styles? So remember, Luminar is called Luminar looks. So the answer to that, unfortunately, is no. What you can do is go into your Luminar or into your Lightroom and look at all the settings that you created. This is what I've done. And I put them side by side, and I'll say, okay, well, if you clicked on the auto tone in Lightroom, I use AI Enhancer for that. So you'll look through and keep in mind all of these tools have very similar, or all these programs have very similar tools. With our product, we work with Lightroom, and we're an add-on to Lightroom. So the things that Lightroom can't do, sky replacement, skin portrait retouching, it gives Lightroom that power, and you could do it in Photoshop, but it takes years to master and create. So if you do want to just take something out of Lightroom, like I said, I would put them on side by side, look over at what you're looking at, the processing, and try to duplicate that using the tools here, and then save it as your new Luminar look. Hope that answered your question. Let's see. Thank you, Antonio, for that. Got time for a couple more. Closed caption. I wish there were two. All right, here's the original. Okay, let's see. Hey, hey, Dave. All right. Yeah, Zoom is very good. I don't have the time to follow this one, but okay, great. Thank you. And Ev, let me pop Ev in here. If you haven't had a chance to check out Ev's photo gallery, the man's an amazing photographer. I'm going to borrow, with your permission, Ev, some of your shots that we did when we were in New York City with the building, all the stairs. I was injured, and they said, when they showed me a picture of these stairs, it was just amazing. There was no way I'd be able to make it up those stairs, let alone our 3 flights of stairs we had. So Ev is saying, if the preset is a LUTs, then it'll work in both, yes, all the same way in Lightroom he's talking about. Just needs a little bit of preparation. So, yes, what Ev is saying, to answer that other question, is if you did have a LUTs inside Lightroom, you could carry that LUTs over into Luminar. So, hey guys, again, this was designed to be between 10 to 15 minutes. And if you have further questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll get to answering them. I'll include this new look that we just created in the description. Once again, thank you, and please don't forget to hit the like button on the bottom and share this with your friends. Well, I'm Vanelli. Thanks so much for joining us on this coffee break.